Well, recruitment's a process where we hire people, whether that's from outside or within the company. And and sometimes companies, they might use people from within their company to recruit, or they might hire a third party at an extra cost. And there's 3 stages to recruitment: searching, sourcing, and selecting. So this comes from using database search, the type of people that you might recruit through the industry to match the skill set that you need. To source from where you might find these people: search engines, universities, different companies. And the way you select it, so bring them into the assessment process, whether that's interviews, the preliminary assessment stages, like those numerical tests. And why do we recruit? It's actually to to boost morale within the company. It's actually to have something to aim for those hard grafters, and it's a bit of recognition for them, for those within the company. And it's actually cost effective, depending, you tailor it to the way the company works. So if it's a small to growing business, small to medium growing business, you might have a more tailored type of recruitment, whereas a large company might have a centralized system with a full running HR team. And the final point is it actually revitalizes the company. New people bring in new ideas, like we do with Champions Life Academy. Obviously, we have top performers training the training sessions, and we take the best points from them and adapt them to grow our company.
We talk about, a lot about it, like how the most successful managers in Champs history have been, at least in one part, been involved in the recruitment process. We talk about roles and responsibilities, getting involved, sharing posts on social media, getting involved with prospecting, things like that. But what's the actual importance of it? Centralizes the idea around the idea of ownership. You source your own people, as Kate was saying, you find people and they kind of buy into you. They're really kind of directly linked to you. They've kind of bought into the idea. And because the program doesn't just start in the summer. There's a whole kind of pre-summer program, if you want to call it. Recruitment's a big part of that. The ability to build relationships is kind of the backbone of what we do at Champs. And building relationships with the people that you're going to be directly working with in the summer starts way before the program. And recruitment is just a big part of that, because you can start that way earlier, and by the time you come to summer, it's stronger than it would be if you didn't get involved. Charles Handy said organisations are people. In order to build a successful organisation, you need the right people, and the biggest role and responsibility of recruitment drive is finding those right people and building the organisation. So the action point, a little helpful hint is, check the dates, recruitment team, check the dates they're visiting your uni, a local uni, anywhere you could get, and using the time management skills you've learned, try and get really involved and be proactive about it.
It's the easiest and most cost-effective ways of doing recruitment is actually social media. Nowadays, 50% of all job seekers are actually using social media, such as Facebook or LinkedIn. It's the easiest way to build a brand for your company, and it's the easiest way to build a brand for yourself as an employee. We don't call them social networks anymore, we call them talent networks. We call them that because do you know that actually 30% of all external hires come from employee referrals? And this is why this is your chance to get involved in building your company's future. And by just simply sharing a Facebook post or university post, you can actually broaden the talent pool and build your company's future. Thank you for listening. We're open for questions.
Thank you very much. The dragons. Questions?
Oh, very nice idea. I think overall you guys had some very good content and very broad spectrum. You not only looked at recruitment within Champions itself, but in the wider world of work as well. You all seem very confident, which is good. It's good to see. And I liked what Jacob did. He referred back to what Kate said, so you've got that sort of link to, you know what each other's talking about, and you're just trying to reaffirm each other's points, which is great. And finally, with Pepe, the close was very strong and motivating us and inspiring us at the end. So well done, guys.
I liked what Abs just said about your reference to each other and then to the literature as well. It shows that you've actually done something outside of being sat here and listening. But throughout the whole thing, none of you smiled.
Try our best.
I have questions before I do my feedback. Boost morale, cost effective. Is recruitment to boost morale in this company?
Okay.
It's in your presentation, guys.
Yeah. Boost morale.
Just brings a bit more to the company as well. Whether that's recruiting from within your company or recruiting outside, it just creates a bit of competition as well. To know that your place might not be completely safe as well. They're bringing in other people, or they might be bringing people from below.
Right, competition. I like that. Why is that so important for you?
It increases productivity.
Why is it so important for you?
Pushes you not to be complacent.
Yeah.
Why is it so
keep
important for
developing
you as a manager?
competition. It's to stay competition in your team. It just keeps everyone driving to be the best they can be.
Okay. You've missed a key speech. You've missed a key bit of the speech yesterday. Why is competition so crucial for every manager sat in this room?
So they can stay competitive against other companies.
Because Easter's only got 20 positions.
Okay. No, you've missed a point. You missed that.
Cool. I think it was.
This is just
Right, feedback. If you want to give feedback first.
Right, okay. My actual feedback for you then, instead of just questions. You didn't ask the audience any questions during it, which would have brought your presentation more to life. It was a little bit short, and I questioned the relevance of some of the points. Other than that, I would agree with much of the positive feedback I heard.
I'd like to give Group 1 a round of applause.
After I give my feedback. Cool. Cool. I liked the way Pepe you brought it back at the end, because I was a bit confused about what you were talking about in general. I felt it wasn't applied to what we were talking about yesterday, as much as I'd like to see. What I did really like though was the way that you handed over each time. It showed you were organised, because you knew exactly when the next speaker was going to start, and that's quite a difficult thing to do. But yeah, my main thing would be take it back to what we teach in sales school and the approach. Think of your communication to the rest of the room as the hands. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Just a point of note for our next presentations. Obviously, with the presentations they're doing, please take as many notes as you can. And also, people that are doing the presentation, when they're giving you feedback, please take notes as well and help you all going forward.
If you're not writing the action points we give you down, then this exercise is wasted.
Thank you. Yes, I am. Can I have the second group?
Yeah.
Second group, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's coming on.
Magic. Let's work.
Okay.
Next slide. Oh, I got laser points. Rob, can you tuck your shirt? Sorry. Joyce. Thank you.
I think you need to open Bible.
Sorry, I was too much fun. Mum bought me a laser pen for Christmas as well.
You are on the clock, mate.
Hey, it's just a flash right?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Cool.
Let's go.
Okay. So, yeah, well, the best if you want to. So we're doing.
Obviously, showing the photos.
It's good. So we're doing our presentation on program anatomy. So kind of the structure of the program, and kind of to help you guys out with things that your fundraisers might be thinking, and things that hopefully you as managers are thinking. We've done it in terms of that 4-step process that hopefully you just wrote about in your test. And then we're going to highlight some things that fundraisers and managers might be thinking in that process in terms of the anatomy of the program. So the first stage, phase 1, kind of looking at weeks 1 to 3 hopefully, for your orientation phase, forming your habits. So your first week, date isn't confirmed, but you'll probably be going down to the charity, I imagine. That's what seems to be things. Wednesday last year, this summer. You'll work the whole week, and that's where you're looking to form your habits. So in terms of this, there's a lovely unlabeled graph, sorry about that. So this is your skill versus your will. You're unskilled at the moment, you haven't really done a lot of training, but you're really enthusiastic. So you're focusing on things that you can focus on in your hub time, learning the script, nailing your approach, kind of learning what it takes to be a top performer, and then getting organised inside your house so you go organised, stuff like that. And now, to move on, Sophia will talk to you about the fundraiser and what kind of fundraisers thinking at this point.
So yeah, well, before becoming like a manager or any other kind of, yeah. Well, anyway, the fundraising mentality is like high enthusiasm. So everyone that gets into high school has a pretty high enthusiasm about what it's doing and things. And there's a rapid learning curve, so you actually have to learn the script, go through all these 21 days to form habits that will like be with you for the rest of the 11 weeks. And well, high work rate, low skill set, so even though you're learning, you're still learning, you're not able to achieve the best results in your first weeks. So that's why we can actually see a high ins per show. So yeah, you knock on a lot of doors, you don't get in. A low show per hour, as I said, exactly the same. A high show per donor, so yeah, you don't really get many donors in your first weeks. I guess everyone can relate to that. And a high ins per hour, so yeah, keep knocking but not getting in. Rob?
Yeah, like we said, the reason we did it this way is because over the programme you are going to go through these different sets. So week by week you're going to find a lot of things like this coming into play. So for manager mentality, in the second week, you know, like the first 3 weeks, you're going to be creating that team and regional bond. The first day of the second week, on the Monday, you've got your team day off. So it's really important to nail it. Think about something that's creative, that's different, that's really going to get the team together, and actually people are going to be enjoying being in your regions, being in your teams. You're looking to praise the work rate. Jonathan Ross over there. You're looking to praise the work rate. You want to build those good habits, really instill that within your fundraisers, within your team, your regions, so people know that, you know, they're not going to be brilliant 100% of the time, but they're going to be able to work on it. spend time running the hub, you want to make sure that it's valued, that people are actually going there and wanting to learn, especially the first 3 weeks, again, it's about building those good habits. Focusing on approach, script training, leading by example. It's all these little things that you guys can do that overall in the programme, you're going to find bring the best results.
Cool. So phase 2, your fundraising is going to start to get a bit dissatisfied. That's obviously when you go back to the skill versus will graph, because their skill set isn't catching up, and they're kind of starting to get a bit frustrated out in the field with their knock-in. So this is kind of probably going to come between the big weeks. You can have your first big week on big week 3, followed by a company day off on week 4, and we'll just...
Yeah, as Luke said, yeah, there are frustration and results. They're not the results that you're expecting. Losing the moral, will to knock because of the above. And desire to succeed for the team. Some of the people on the team are getting better and better. Some of them, they need more time. And consciously compete.
Again, so as a manager at this stage, you're really looking for these potential threats. If you can preempt it, you're not going to stop people from going through the dissatisfaction stage realistically. But if you can see that that's the spiral they're heading towards, you can think of ways to bring them back out of it. It's looking to instill the hope and confidence. We all know that's the way to get from dissatisfaction to resolution. So you really want to make sure your team know that's how you're feeling in the moment. Reassuring your team members to bring them to do that. Additional hub training on things like the approach, the show, having fun on location, all these things that can actually help people feel more confident while they're on location. And management, you have to really realise that you're still creating relationships with the sales school team. You have got new people coming in and making sure that they feel valued within the company as well.
Cool.
1 minute left, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, that's what we've got. So resolution, this is hopefully where their skills starting to catch up. Skill sets starting to catch up, getting a nice increase in results now. Fundraisers' attitude starting to pick up, we're having fun in the field now, we've learned to have fun. That's great. Big week 7 is your second big week, followed by another day off, company day off on week 8.
You're pretty much being through the worst, so feeling positive, skill set improving, performing big weeks, and realize that the development of the company and also looking to become conscious of competing with other guys.
Yeah, and the manager should check on the stats, train more specialised and more advanced, and train well balanced top performance.
Cool. Finally, productivity phase. Hopefully, it's where it's kind of coming towards the end of the programme, or, well, it's happy days from here, hopefully, in theory. You've got a nice skill set, a really good basis to go on and drive on. In terms of your hubs, you've got your top performers running your hubs. And as a manager, it gets a bit easier, hopefully. Kind of coming into the final end of the programme, weeks 9 to 11. You've got 2 big weeks, obviously everyone's pushing to Tenerife. And then extra night out on the last day, extra day's knock-in, crack on, and then go get lashed in Reading.
Yeah.
Wherever that was last time. Cool.
Yeah, we're done. That was actually wrong. That's
Happy?
not smart, man.
Yeah,
happy.
Typos. No, is there anything? Cool. Questions, if you have any.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thanks very much. Woody.
Sure. Questions.
What to extrapolate from yesterday's presentation, I see no plans from any of you about how you're going to use this, how you're going to use this knowledge to help people. I see a lot of, there'll be a dissatisfaction, so you're going to have to help them.
Like, kind of everyone that you want to have. We have action points of what you look at for a manager.
That's what you look at, but don't see much action.
So we've got, you're looking to praise the work rate, that's an action point.
That's a mentality, it's not an action point. It's sales manager mentality right there.
Yeah, but you're looking to praise things that are good, that's an action.
Also, the leading by example for results in field. It's all about the preempting as well, you know, it's like actually seeing these things come into play. If you've got them in the back of your mind already, when you do spot it, you can work on it. And I mean, okay, I haven't actually put a point-by-point plan of what you should be doing, but people have different
I
managers.
would hope to have seen a point-by-point plan. So what would be your 3 plans, having worked on this presentation extensively last night? What would the 3 of you be planning to do during the last phase of the summer?
But I mean, by that point, you know, you're on the upward spiral, things are moving
What are you
around.
planning to do?
Well, by this point, also, we're hoping that, we're assuming, I'll say, that at this point we've got our top performers running our hubs. Hubs are self-sufficient, and we're looking just to kind of reinforce. We've been really consistent on our 1-minute praisings throughout the summer. People know they're good habits, they're keeping them up, and then we're looking to do our 1-minute reprimands when people are misbehaving, so we're in hubs.
Managers, what would you be focused on?
That.
Keeping the performance
I
down.
would hope to have seen double finishing that as an LD.
Yeah.
That's all my questions.
Abdul.
I think you guys started off really well. You were funny pictures. Got everyone smiling. And then you got straight into it, made it really serious. And yeah, very good clarification of the why at the beginning, which was important. Good introduction from the speaker. And finally, you had quite a good in-depth analysis of each point and what you thought, or how you thought that could affect fundraisers or managers. Results. I think you did really well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Lizzie.
I liked the introduction you did, so you told us why I was sat here listening to you rather than just so that was a good start. And I think this kind of ties in with timekeeping, is that you speak quite quickly, so it's quite easy for it just to all go over your head, so the amount of time you're being prepared at the beginning, you know who's saying what bit, have that kind of simply at the beginning. It's quite simple just to clarify that, so we can actually sit and listen to you rather than be one minute at a time, not facing the audience and then speeding through it.
Yeah, my actual feedback, really high hopes at the start. Very positive, started with a joke, told me exactly why you were going to do it. I was really keen, but I'm going to be honest, I got completely lost.
Okay.
And I found it a bit boring towards the end. There wasn't any audience engagement, and you didn't get your personalities across. I think you missed the trick there.
Okay.
I have one question for you. Why have you specified that orientation, dissatisfaction, etc. happen in specific weeks?
We won't. Okay, we did specify specific weeks. Orientation, the first 3 weeks, because it is public filming, we thought that kind of made sense. We didn't want to be too particular with it, but we thought realistically this is when it's going to be happening about. You can't solidify exactly where and when, but
ideally from somewhere.
I think we just thought it was a nice way to structure the presentation in a kind if there's not we're not looking to imply causality or like a formal relationship between the two, which is probably something I should mention in the introduction. But I think what we were trying to get at is these 4 things will happen across your summer.
like a basic framework.
The 4 things, it's wrong. The 4 things will happen across the summer,
but we're not necessarily.
There's nothing to say that you're
what
going
point?
to dissatisfy. You might be in dissatisfaction for half the programme. You might be in it for 2 days.
Yeah, we should stress that point. It was meant to be
Can
more of a
happen
framework.
between those. Yeah.
Cool. My feedback, I'd agree there wasn't really any audience engagement. There was a bit of a confused message at times, but I think we've covered that. Rob, I really liked you a bit in terms of your style of presenting. I thought that was one of the best we've seen so far.
Thank you.
And yeah, you've all taken sort of an equal share in that, which is good to see.
Thanks very much.
So, action points will obviously involve getting your personality across. And there's more specific point by point plan on how you're going to go about doing these tasks. Do you have a market? 3.
Are you slides or no slides? Okay.
Who's the leader of this? And what's your presentation on?
On the first day of the team at the
Team
sales
meeting at sales school. So like I said, just to reiterate, you have 7 minutes and 2 minutes for question and answer session by the team.
Okay.
Your time starts now.
Good morning, champions. How are you guys doing? Basically, yeah, we're here to discuss with you about the team meeting at sales school. Basically, yeah, sales school is just a really interesting environment. It's the first sort of chance for these fresh champions to experience and meet and greet each other and actually be introduced to the management team and how the company works as a whole. So, Pippin, or actually, George, do you remember your first day at sales school? Can you remember were you at the Holiday Inn?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. How did you feel walking into those stores?
I was really nervous at the start.
Yeah.
I came in, saw everyone in suits, but be here.
Fear.
Really nervous.
Fear.
Yeah.
Suits. And when you were first introduced to your manager, your junior manager, were you sales school 1 or 2? 1. Brilliant. Okay. What did you think of them? How did they make you feel?
No, I really liked him. Made me feel really relaxed at the start. We had a really good appraisal at the start. It was relaxing.
Good. So you felt like a friend among enemies. Nice. Good. Well, my experience was quite different coming in from sales school too, because there's also the aspect of people already made their teams, already got relationships formed and bonded and things like that. So I think it's a lot harder to make them feel like you've got that confidence in them as well. So the analogy I like to use is you feel like that one lucky sperm. You'll see him, Benny. That is your team. It's apt. It does work. You know what I mean? Only one makes it of the million that are produced every day. Here's Pippin to talk to you about team branding.
Thank you, Simba. That was lovely. Now I'm going to talk about branding and how to build value of the team. Basically, the most important thing is to come up with a brand name. It has to be solid and strong. It's that's the first impression people are going to get when they see a team. You need an identity, like what do you want to stand for, because all the teams have personality. Think about it, like I remember mine, because our region name was House. We sat there, we're like House, family, and then Bond. And yeah, Bond was a solid name. It worked throughout the summer. And logo is important. We used to turn up to every single management meeting with logos. Ours was probably the best. Yeah, I don't remember. And then we used to have like mini competitions between teams in terms of logos, like which one was good. So that kept us going as well. And secondly, there's things such as like team chants. You could think about it. It would get people pumped up. I don't know, like, does anyone know why branding is important? This is an exam on that. Anyone want to tell me? Why is brand important?
Chris,
Go on.
Gives you like a sense of identity and belonging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes everyone feel part of the team. Increases co-ownership as well. And on top of that, like on the first day you can find out more information, personal information about members of the team. You can reveal them information about like schedules, maybe like tease them about competitions. Try and segregate them when you do this. Even if it means like getting them to an area of horse stables, like what Tom did. And yeah, like doing all those things, it's going to build value of the team. And a healthy team grows, and that's what we want. And last but not least, be more passionate about it. Because if you're passionate, it's going to make everyone feel passionate about the team. Yeah, I'm going to hand over to Justina.
Thank you, Victor. So my bit is the first meeting at sales school. So it's very essential that they do start feeling comfortable with you as soon as possible, because you're going to live with them for 11 weeks. So in the first meeting, you do the normal, what is your name and what you need